Before diving into this incredible story, remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Here, every story has something to say, and you won't want to miss a single one. The sky was tinged with orange and pink over New York's JFK Airport. A brand new Skylink Airlines Boeing 777 purred softly on the tarmac, ready for takeoff to Los Angeles. Inside, passengers settled into their seats amidst a mix of lively conversation and studious silence. Seatback screens displayed flight maps and recent movies, while the aroma of freshly brewed coffee wafted through the air conditioning. In the middle of aisle 14, Marcus Johnson, a 28-year-old black lawyer, settled in elegantly. Impeccably dressed in a suit, briefcase at his feet, he exuded confidence and discipline. He was reading a file to prepare for an important trial, unaware that this robbery would change his life, and that of the entire country, in a matter of minutes. A few rows away, Vanessa Carrington, a white flight attendant in her 30s, walked down the aisle with a notebook in her hand. She was known for her punctuality, but also for her arrogance. A mixture of weariness and judgment shone in her eyes, and some colleagues knew that she had already had altercations with black passengers, often justified, according to her, by an unspoken sense of superiority. As Marcus adjusted his documents, Vanessa stopped abruptly in front of him. Her gaze hardened. Her lips tightened. "Sir, your behavior is inappropriate," she said in a tone that left no room for discussion. Marcus looked up, surprised but polite. "I'm sorry, I don't understand." Vanessa didn't respond. Without warning, she raised her hand and slapped him hard. The impact echoed through the cabin. Some passengers held their breath, others were already pulling out their phones to film the scene. Marcus, shocked but composed, brought a hand to his cheek. The pain burned, but the shame wasn't his. The murmur of the passengers turned into commotion. Children were crying, some adults were whispering, "Unbelievable," while others tried to calm Vanessa. But Marcus didn't move. A calm, almost menacing glint shone in his eyes. He wasn't going to let this go unchallenged. At that precise moment, the flight, meant to be a simple daily commute, became the scene of a confrontation where racism clashed with the dignity and strength of a man who would never allow himself to be humiliated. The sky above the plane seemed to hold its breath. The silence in the cabin was almost palpable. The passengers held their breath, unable to believe what they had just seen. Some rose slightly from their seats, phones pointed at Marcus and Vanessa, capturing every moment. Marcus straightened up, his back straight, his eyes fixed on Vanessa with quiet intensity. His voice, calm but firm, echoed down the aisle. "You just hit me for no reason. I advise you to apologize immediately, otherwise I will be forced to report this incident to the authorities and the media." Vanessa's eyes widened, shocked that he didn't shout, panic, or back down. She was used to passengers deferring to her authority, but Marcus wasn't an ordinary passenger. Her condescending smile morphed into a grimace of irritation. "How dare you speak to me in that tone?" she cried, red with anger. Marcus calmly took his phone out of his pocket and began recording. "Everything you just did is documented. Every gesture, every word. I suggest you apologize once again, for your own good and that of the company." Around them, the tension was rising. A mother held her child close, her eyes wide. An elderly man murmured, "It's unbelievable, she's not going to get away with this." Other passengers exchanged worried but admiring glances. Vanessa, sensing that the situation was slipping out of her control, attempted to justify herself. "I acted for the good of the passengers, he was giving me a dirty look." A bitter laugh rippled through the aisle. Everyone could sense the absurdity of his excuse. Marcus, unperturbed, shook his head. "Looking at someone doesn't justify a slap. Your action is an abuse of power motivated by your prejudices." A young man sitting behind Marcus spoke up timidly. "You can't do that to someone, you're in the wrong." Vanessa's anger rose, but she realized she was losing control of the situation. Marcus remained composed, every move calculated, every word precise. The phone cameras captured the striking contrast. Vanessa, red-faced and furious, and Marcus, calm and in control. As the plane began its takeoff, a murmur spread among the passengers, "That man, he's not going to let this go." In Marcus's eyes shone a silent determination. This simple flight would become the starting point of a national shock. A few minutes after takeoff, the tension in the cabin was only increasing. Marcus, sitting upright, continued to discreetly film Vanessa with his phone, while several passengers did the same. The murmurs turned into indignant conversations, and some didn't hesitate to confront the crew. "You can't let a passenger get hit. This is unacceptable." Vanessa, visibly overwhelmed, tried to regain her authority by shouting, "Please sit down. Everything is under control." But no one was really listening to her. The image of a flight attendant hitting a passenger for no reason had already crossed the line of what was tolerable. Upon landing in Los Angeles, Marcus calmly disembarked the plane. Passengers' phones were already connected to social media, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Videos of the slap were circulating nationwide. The hashtag Justice for Marcus exploded within hours. Millions of Americans watched the scene, shared their outrage, and commented on Vanessa's arrogance and racism. The national media seized upon the story. CNN, NBC, and even local stations in California broadcast the incident extensively. Civil rights experts were interviewed to comment on the blatant injustice, while internet users demanded an immediate investigation and sanctions against the airline. What most people didn't know was that Marcus wasn't just a passenger, he was a civil rights lawyer and the son of a respected federal judge. His composure and dignity in the face of the slap captivated everyone and transformed a simple incident into a national symbol of the fight against systemic racism. Vanessa, now the center of attention, saw her reputation crumble before she even understood the magnitude of the media storm. Calls for her suspension were already circulating, and several Skylink Airlines employees said they were shocked by her behavior. Marcus, for his part, remained calm and in control of the situation. He knew that this video would not only serve his personal defense, but that it could become a powerful tool for raising national awareness about racial discrimination, even in the most unexpected places. His gaze fell upon the Californian horizon. A flight that should have been ordinary had just become the trigger for a national movement. The day after the incident, Marcus Johnson was already on the phone with his legal team. Every detail of the slap, every passenger testimony, and every video circulating on social media was being archived to prepare the legal challenge. He knew this event could serve as a springboard to expose a problem far larger than his own personal experience. Vanessa Carrington was immediately suspended by Skylink Airlines, but Marcus didn't stop there. With his team, he prepared a formal complaint for racial harassment and assault, including the airline as a defendant for failing to protect its passengers from the racist behavior of their employee. The national press seized upon the affair. Marcus gave calm but impactful interviews. What you see in this video is not an isolated incident. It reflects a systemic problem. Every passenger deserves to travel without fear of being attacked because of the color of their skin. Social media was abuzz. Videos of the slap were shared millions of times, accompanied by outraged comments. The hashtag Justice for Marcus became a symbol of the fight against racism on public and commercial transportation. Activists and civil rights organizations joined the campaign, transforming what could have been a simple local scandal into a national movement. Vanessa, once arrogant, found herself isolated and publicly humiliated. Calls for her permanent dismissal multiplied, and some passengers even went to Skylink Airlines headquarters to file further complaints. Her career, built on an image of control and authority, was now threatened by her own behavior. Marcus, however, showed no personal satisfaction. His goal was greater: to draw attention to the injustice and force companies to acknowledge and correct racial bias within their ranks. He had become, despite himself, a figure of resistance, a symbol of dignity and justice. At that moment, he understood that this slap in the face was not just a personal affront. It was a historic opportunity to bring about real change, and he intended to exploit it to the fullest. A few weeks after the incident, the trial against Vanessa Carrington and Skylink Airlines began. The courtroom was packed: journalists, civil rights activists, passengers who witnessed the slap, and simply curious onlookers came to witness the event that had already shaken the country. Marcus Johnson entered the room calmly and with dignity, his documents neatly arranged, his legal team at his side. Vanessa, on the other hand, appeared nervous and clearly aware of the magnitude of her mistakes. She attempted a forced smile, but it was lost in Marcus's impassive gaze. Videos of the incident were projected onto a large screen. Each spectator could relive the slap, Marcus's surprise, and his unwavering composure. The judge, stern but attentive, listened to every word of the lawyers. This wasn't just an overzealous act, Marcus stated. It was a racially motivated attack in the cabin, in front of witnesses, and it could have escalated much more seriously. The airline is responsible for failing to protect its passengers from such abuse. The passengers' testimonies were damning. One after another, they recounted how Vanessa had hit Marcus for no reason, how she had tried to justify her actions with absurd excuses, and how Marcus had remained calm with exemplary dignity. A few hours later, the verdict came down. Vanessa Carrington was found guilty of assault and racial harassment. Skylink Airlines was ordered to pay substantial compensation and to review its training programs for all its staff. The news made headlines across the media, a slap in the face that shocked America, the national newspapers proclaimed. Social media exploded once again. Images of Marcus, calm and impassive in the face of violence, went viral, inspiring millions to denounce racism in all aspects of daily life. Organizations launched awareness campaigns, and schools and businesses began to review their diversity and respect policies. Marcus, for his part, remained humble. He had never sought personal glory. But this robbery, which had begun as a moment of gratuitous violence, had transformed into a national symbol of justice and dignity. What Vanessa thought was a simple show of power had backfired, and all of America had witnessed a clear lesson: no skin color should ever be the target of violence or contempt. The now infamous New York to Los Angeles robbery would be remembered as the moment when a black man, beaten for no reason, transformed injustice into a powerful catalyst for social change.